So, could you please share your personal story or what was the inspiration behind this
Thank you so much. Like you said, just a brief introduction of myself. My name is Grace Ofure, Iwakomu MDC of Lifeguard, the founder of Grace Ofure Foundation. For me, life is living for others. And that was one thing that I didn't really find. I know that my family had to do a lot to give me an education. I also noticed that for you to become this big dream you think about, it's either somebody help you, which is important. Jesus had to give his life for us. That's the nature of life. You have to give your life for others. So I promised myself that I was going to give my life for others. And if God gives me an opportunity to rise, I was going to do something about people. I know that everybody has heard my story of I came to Lagos as a copper, trying to get a job. Was something that was not as easy as not easy now. It has never been easy. And how that I had to do a lot of things to become who I am today. Most especially doing anything that was good in the eyes of God and eyes of men. And from the story of selling in the streets of Lagos to hawking fairly used clothes to starting a real estate investment company that has done a lot, and very excited about what those that have inspired and those have most importantly for me mentored, been able to do with their finances in terms of wealth creation. It's just been a journey of grace. And that's why I always say grace is not just my name, it's actually my lifestyle. Grace is the expression of God's personality in a man's life. How can you say you know God when you are not thinking about your neighbor? So I got to some extent in my journey in life, and I knew that I needed to be a shoulder for others to cry on. It was during a particular time where I saw some women. It was an organization that said they were widows. So I just made up my mind to say, you know what, I can help them. And so I started to think about it. Why not? If not. So just trying to help another. So I said, okay. I wanted to fund it myself. Single-handedly fund everything that I wanted to do. Because I've been doing giving. My life is a life of giving. So people call it philanthropy. I call it giving life a meaning. So I had done it with a lot of people. I didn't really have a foundation, but I supported a lot of foundations, which I still do. As long as you are doing something for humanity and you are doing something for another person to relieve them of their problems, you find grace there, supporting big time. I just wanted to have a personal touch, something I could see that I'm doing alone. That's why. If not, I'll have just left it at empowering other foundations, which I still do. So most times I get Grace Ofure Foundation to sponsor another foundation. Yes. Because for me, it's a dream come true. I remember when I had a home manager and I got a call from her village where they said to me that I've heard you're a pastor, you're a woman of God, and there's so much this lady has brought to the village. And I know that's not her salary, so she must have been stealing from me. And while the person was scared saying it, and I started laughing. And she was wondering, like, why is she laughing? I said, I pray that you steal from me and I will never notice. You can only steal from an ocean and you don't notice because it's always full. So I didn't know that she was stealing from me. And I was excited about it because it was a dream come true. I had prayed, I have desired, I have worked hard to see it, that one day you will steal so much and I wouldn't know. Yeah. So when I got to that point of my life where I didn't notice that, then it was time to give back. And I'm glad I'm doing that.
So your life is one that is really categorized with impact. We have seen your works and even it reflects in your business. Recently, one of your projects, you went to a primary school. Can you shed more light on that? The impact to the kids, that's very commendable.
I have a very inspiring mentor that has taught us that, like I said, life is for others. There are two things that are important in life: relevance and impact. And I have some very young people that just go around finding who needs something because they know that Grace Ofure would stand up. There was so much the school wanted, and I just felt that I wanted to see this joy, this glow, this excitement. My mentor has told me that all kids are your kids. Your kids are not only those you have biologically. Every child is your child. If you don't know that every child is your child, and you don't do anything by that child, do anything about that child, you could be living or being a car. The child will grow up and become your trouble. So every child you see around, roaming about, will either grow up to make an impact meaningfully or make an impact taking your life if possible. So knowing this, I'm very emotional when it comes to children, because whatever they become becomes you. As long as you live in the society, even if when you want to run away from the society, so many thieves have run away from your society, came to meet you where you are, and we can hear the news that they do the same thing. My mentor said, a thief in class will be a thief when he grows up. The difference is the mentors will be bigger because he too has grown. So he might be stealing a class. Now he has a pen. He will steal with a pen. Now he has technology. He will steal with technology. So he's still a thief, but just doing it better. So, but as a child, if you capture and give them a direction, and that's why I'm very interested in taking it to schools, because once you give them the light there, they become the light of the world.
So we hear that the Grace Ofure Foundation is working towards another really interesting initiative. Can you tell us about that?
There are two initiatives that we're about to do now. One, it broke my heart. You wouldn't believe it. I found out that some people are in prisons because there are some certain obligations that they need to meet. And this obligation is doable. You know, so they've gone through their jail term. Our foundation goes to teach them the word of God on how they can be better citizens. But the obligations are so much. And it's something that we can do. So we are planning, one, to release a lot of people, pay up their obligations. The second thing we are planning to do now is to go to hospitals. We see a lot of, especially mothers with kids, they have been kept behind. After maybe surgery, delivery, they can pay their bills. You know, so I'm like, they can't pay their bills. They are not necessarily in the hospital because they are not fine. They are there because they have become their own collateral to remain in the hospital until they pay their bills. So what are we going to do? It's time to bring some out of the hospital. So we are going to pay their bills and take them out of the hospital to go back to their homes. And we also, because they've been there for a very long time, we are now planning to give them some necessary food items that can keep them for a month, 2 months, till they put their food together. Because they've been there. They've been there. So even if they have businesses, they had anything they were doing, do they really have? If they had and it was structured well, they won't find themselves in that position. So we are going to do bringing them out and sustaining them for some time. Yeah. And most importantly, training them to begin to create wealth.
So, I can see you bubbling with lots of excitement while you're talking about it. Tell us one of your most memorable encounters while you were empowering some of these women and their children.
Okay, it's the widows. It's the widows. When we did the widows food, that's home use pack. That's what can sustain them for a long time. Then we did the widows trainings, and we gave them monies to start businesses. So we didn't just feed them. We didn't just teach them. We also empowered them, a lot of them, to start businesses. For me, it was the impact on my personal teaching on mindset shift. Yes. And I say that because one of the testimonies I got is this. Some people have tried to help, but nobody has impacted their mind. What they have impacted is their body. They have impacted their stomach, but nobody has impacted their mind. I will tell you what that meant for me. As a change agent, they will say, the mind plays a major role in what you will ever be. So it doesn't matter that you are a widow. You could be a widow with a difference. And that was what I wanted to give them, the picture that you could even become a change to other widows. So what are you going to do with this empowerment for someone else to empower others? And the glow, the excitement, the way they received the training was very inspiring for me. And most importantly is what they have now started to do. Out of a lot of them, some of them came together, and based on the funds that they are getting, I've been able to now start to put monies together to help other widows. So they have become impactful because they were impacted. So that's one thing that's making me excited. Yes.
People are probably by now wondering, how can I be a part of this? Because you said most of the projects you have to do it solely. So I'm sure a lot of people, they don't have the opportunities and the access that you have, but you want to, through the Grace Ofure Foundation.
Yes. Okay, so they can be, because one of the things we are also doing is, like I said, Grace Ofure Foundation can see a good project handled by another person or another NGO, and we partner with them. So I think that a lot of people have really, truly, you are correct, approached me. And so now they can, with our email addresses, with our phone numbers, they can reach out to us and let us know they want to be a part of it. But it's going to be project by project. They can give into the Grace Ofure Foundation post, and we'll definitely let them know the projects we are planning or we're embarking on. Whether it's a personal project under the Grace Ofure Foundation, or we're trying to support another foundation that is doing a lot. There's a foundation we are planning to support now. We want to buy wheelchairs for disabled people. Yeah, so you can see that I don't have that in my plan, but it's something that I'm excited about, and I want to be a part of it.
So beyond monetary donations,
yes,
are you going to receive material donations?
Why not? Why not? Like the schools now, they need a lot of things. There are some orphanages, they need a lot of diapers. So there are so many things that people need. And because we can identify them, just like before I started, there are a lot of people that don't have the time, but they want to be a part of giving back. We have a structure now that can identify them. So we'll identify them, and with your help, we'll be able to do even more. And yeah.
Support the Grace Ofure Foundation. Together, we can make the world a better place.